Tonight, 2 men flown to Adelaide after a head-on crash near Whyalla, and the CFS praises farmers for their help during the bushfire danger period.
With the latest from around the region, your nightly news with John Hunt begins now.
Good evening. 2 men have been airlifted to Adelaide following a horrific head-on collision just outside Whyalla on the Lincoln Highway. Shari Hams filed a report from the scene.
Horrific scenes here just outside Whyalla. The crash occurred just after 6:30 on the Lincoln Highway. Commuters waiting over 3 hours to pass through. Another collision adding to this year's horror crash toll. A Port Lincoln newspaper delivery truck and ute collided head-on around 20 k's outside Whyalla, heading towards Cow. A 49-year-old Port Lincoln man and a 27-year-old Whyalla man were trapped inside their vehicles for over 2 hours before emergency services could free them.
Both men have been airlifted to the Royal Adelaide Hospital with multiple injuries, which are not considered life-threatening.
MedStar and SES workers rushed to the scene to free the men. They also had to clean up the area due to an oil spill across both lanes of traffic. SAPO investigate how the crash occurred.
Police are investigating the circumstances surrounding the crash.
Commuters waiting patiently as traffic builds up from both directions.
The Lincoln Highway was closed to all traffic for several hours while emergency service workers worked at the scene.
And at 10:30, 3 hours later, the roads were finally opened again to traffic. However, speed limits were reduced as police continue their investigations throughout the day. Police are reiterating to the community to drive carefully on the highways and always remain vigilant.
A crew member on board a bulk carrier has been medically evacuated after injuring himself on duty. The ship was 130 kilometres west of Port Lincoln when the alarm was raised. Nathan Ruttaker has more.
It was just after midday last week when an emergency transmission came in requesting medical assistance on board a 300-metre bulk carrier ship. A crew member on vessel Ludorf-Oldendorf suffering a broken arm while on duty. The ship's master requesting immediate medical attention and evacuation for the crew member.
We liaised with our telemedical advice service doctor, and the doctor recommended that the crew member be medically evacuated from the vessel.
The South Australian ambulance helicopter known as Rescue 51 was sent to retrieve the crew member from the ship. Vision captured by the Australian Maritime Authority showing the delicate operation and winching the crewmen on board the Mack helicopter. A Challenger and rescue jet was also dispatched from Essendon to provide top cover and act as a communication relay transmitting back to emergency services in Adelaide.
Ludorf-Oldendorf had departed from Whyalla on a voyage to China a few days earlier and was located about 470 kilometres west-southwest of Port Lincoln when it made the call.
The bulk carrier turning around, travelling around 380 kilometres closer to the coastline, the ship rendezvousing with medical aircraft and rescue teams just outside of Port Lincoln.
The injured crew member was winched on board and transported to Royal Adelaide Hospital for treatment.
The ship continuing with its voyage to China, expecting to reach the country within the next few days. The crew member remains in hospital recovering from his injuries.
It's been a busy week for Port Lincoln Police, with patrols pulling over several drivers who've tested positive to methamphetamines. Crews allegedly stopping 2 male drivers aged in their 30s and a woman in her 50s, all returning positive readings of the illicit substance. Police also pulling over a male driver who allegedly blew 3 times over the blood alcohol limit on Tuesday night. SA could be crucial in the makeup of the Senate, with polling suggesting a deadlock in the upper house after tomorrow's election. Analysis showing the crossbench is set to have a large divide, with South Australia and Tasmania key in determining the final makeup and dynamic. South Australia having 2 seats up for grabs, fought over by the Centre Alliance, One Nation, Liberals and the Greens.
South Australia and Tasmania are 2 of the states, the unusual states, where 2 of the 6 seats have the ability to not go to the major parties.
The Institute says it's anyone's guess who will secure the last two seats, with climate change and the Murray-Darling Basin the major issues facing South Australia. 3 Port Lincoln youths have been arrested and charged with property damage after allegedly kicking and denting several cars. Police allege the 3 boys, all aged 12 years old, entered a car dealership on Liverpool Street, causing significant damage to the vehicles. The boys have been arrested and charged with property damage. 1 boy remains in custody today. All 3 boys are due to appear in the youth court at a later date. The CFS are praising the work of its volunteers in helping reduce the risk of bushfires throughout the hotter months. The fire danger season has now officially ended, but firefighters are remaining vigilant.
This past bushfire season has been hot and dry, but despite favourable conditions, CFS volunteers were able to avoid significant fires.
We did have quite a few incidents, but they were smaller ones. Guys did a good job, got on top of them early.
In terms of us in Region 4, it was a quieter than usual season.
Large blazes in the APY lands around Christmas and Maconic Park in April did keep them busy. They're praising farmers for reducing fuel loads on their properties.
Yeah, they're really alert with their farm fire units and so forth, so anything that did start, they jumped on it pretty quick.
The fire danger season ended this week, a fortnight later than usual, but with the Weather Bureau predicting dry conditions for the coming months, the CFS remains wary.
They're not going to be as intense, but there's certainly still some threat out there until we get significant rains.
The colder weather sparking new risks.
So we're now moving into dangerous house fires and things like that.
The CFS also responding to emergency situations across the region.
Road crash. Obviously, we've got a major highway that runs, or multiple major highways that run through our region. So again, that's a major focus for us.
The work of volunteers on the front line remaining the key to fighting the flames.
So we had around 840 incidents between June last year and today, which equates to over 7,400 volunteer hours that are committed.
Our volunteers are fantastic. They're always available.
Garth Burley, 7 Spencer Gulf News.
Still to come tonight, concerns local farmers are running out of feed for their animals, and new lights finally ready to go at a Wyala Park. Welcome back. Local animal feed suppliers are fast running out of fodder due to recent dry conditions. However, the state government says stock is limited until a biosecurity outbreak is fixed in WA.
Spencer Gulf farmers have been watching truck after truck deliver hay to the eastern states. The much-needed fodder missing out on feeding our local livestock due to biosecurity concerns.
There have been concerns with green snail in the northern wheat belt in Western Australia.
The snail's known for eating holes in leaves and severely damaging crops.
I'm given an assurance by the Western Australian government that that fodder will be classified as safe. We will not accept any Western Australia hay.
Mr Whetstone has written to his Western Australian counterpart urging for an investigation into the biosecurity threat. If the green snail is not prevalent within the wheat belt, fodder can start flowing in from over the border. For livestock owners, the assurance may come too late, with fodder suppliers now running out of feed.
We're in a situation right at this point in time where fodder supplies are precarious. There is not a lot of supply left in the fodder pipeline.
Charity resources have been stretched to the limit, with many of them saying time is running out.
We've got about 8,000 farmers on our register asking for help, and they all need it today. It's very, very difficult.
With sowing underway, farmers will be looking anxiously to the skies, praying that the rain is here to stay. Dominic Beaton, 7 Spencer Gulf News.
A government grant has made Wyala's civic park safer. The upgrades include extra lighting and CCTV cameras to light up a notoriously dark part of the city.
Safety comes first, and families can feel reassured when visiting Civic Park in the evening with new lights installed in CCTV cameras.
43 new solar-powered lights to be complemented with 16 CCTV cameras, which will get fed back to our Whyalla police station.
This central hub a top priority, and the Safer Communities grant enabled council to select appropriate security measures.
The council is certainly going to be looking how we can redevelop and encourage more people to use this as a recreation venue.
The community agrees it's a good addition to the park.
Yeah, just safer for the kids, especially using the park, just the skating rink park behind you. So no, definitely be beneficial, that's for sure.
That would be better than not feeling safe and being scared of coming here. That'd stop the amount of people coming to the park.
Council CEO says moving forward, Whyalla Council would like to see more of these security initiatives.
If we feel this is warranted in other venues to make them more community friendly, we certainly will investigate it.
And parents agreeing with this idea, saying other locations need to be made safer for children.
Yeah, security even down at Ada Gardens, and some more lighting down there would be nice as well, especially because they have like the Unearthed Festival and the Christmas Pageant Fair, so a bit more lighting down there would be great too, so you can use that a bit more.
Shari Ham, 7 Spencer Golf News.
Port Perry is set to host the Southern Flinders Ranges Photo Festival. Photographers across the Mid-North now have an opportunity to enter their favourite landscape snaps of the region. $8,000 in prizes will be up for grabs, with categories including architecture, people, streets and landscapes. Artists will have until the 18th of August to place their entries at Port Perry's Regional Art Gallery. Broken Hill City Council estimates it could cost up to $20 million for vital upgrades of the local airport. Improving the tarmac to handle larger aircraft is one of the desired improvements.
An airport upgrade plan council hopes will take off. With a number of mining projects set to come online in the coming years, City Council is continuing its push to secure funding for a major enhancement of the site.
We want to make sure that we can accommodate any aircraft that are coming in so that we don't lose out on that economic opportunity that we missed out on during the pipeline construction when they were landing in Mildura as opposed to Broken Hill.
This week, council staff met with strategists from Brisbane to discuss a staged development plan. Improving exterior features of the facility would be stage 1, including new perimeter fencing.
At the moment, our airport staff actually monitor the runway before any commercial flights come in for kangaroos and emus, make sure that they get them off the runway.
New lighting will also be installed at an estimated cost of about $2 million. A further $18 million would be needed to widen and strengthen the runway. However, the new tarmac wouldn't be for larger commercial planes, as it would require increased security at a further cost to council.
We're not looking at that. We've obviously got a good relationship with Rex. This is more about making sure that any industries that are coming into town they can actually fly their aircraft into.
But before it happens, council says they need the government on board as a passenger.
State and federal funding, and those applications come up quite regularly, so as soon as they come up we're now submitting 3 applications for the airport depending on how much money we can apply for.
Patrick Ryanke, 7 Spencer Gulf News.
Stay with us after the break. We meet Hello World's National Manager of the Year, and Broken Hill's football is gearing up to represent the city once again. Hello again. A Port Augusta employee has proven she's one of the best at her job in the country. Barbara Hunt has been awarded not 1 but 2 Manager of the Year awards at Hello World's conference in Vietnam.
She heads the business that sells Port Augusta residents their holiday getaways. But Barbara Hunt has now been honoured as one of the best travel professionals in the country. At the Hello World Owners Managers Conference in Vietnam, she received not only the State Manager of the Year award, but also the national title.
I was super excited to get national. It's just a surreal experience.
With 33 years' experience behind the desk, Barbara is chuffed to be recognised as the best manager in Australia.
It puts Port Augusta on the map, and even the region, South Australia, because I was up against the rest of the country.
The award is given to those who display a passion for staff development and team collaboration, while leading by example in the workplace.
I think it's a dedication. I've 33 years in the business, and yeah, it's long hours.
As a manager, I've got the award, but it's the team I have under me.
But co-workers say her rapport with clients is what sets her apart from the rest.
Everybody that comes in, she's got a personal connection with. She'll sit down and have coffee with people, even if they're not booking a holiday.
Garth Burley, 7 Spencer Golf News.
People across regional South Australia are reminded to cast their votes tomorrow for the federal election. 8 candidates are vying for the seat of Grey. Voting is compulsory and fines will occur for those who fail to do so. Head online to the Australian Electoral Commission to find your nearest voting polling booth. Booths are open between 8 a.m. and 6 p.m. Broken Hill's top footballers will once again join forces to represent the city. They're set to take on Roxby Downs in the resurrected Miners' Cup next month after a 3-year hiatus.
Soon to line up for the Silver City. Prior to its cancellation 3 years ago, the Miners' Cup was a popular weekend on the local footy calendar. A team of AFL Broken Hill players taking on a squad from the Far North League in SA for annual bragging rights.
Combined football's been played here in Broken Hill for over 100 years. There's a lot of tradition in that. So that's what we're trying to instill. And we're getting that nice balance of senior players and junior players.
In 2019, the fixture is back. A Silver City squad will travel to Roxby Downs to play the match. Given both regions' mining connection, work rosters will play a big role in team selection.
If the game is here, a player would have to get 1 day off the mine roster. We go to Roxby, which we will be in a couple of weeks, they've got to get 3 days off. So there will be some players who won't be able to make the trip.
Despite some selection headaches, Mr. Schmidt says the weekend will be a good one and also a spotlight on the local talent.
Various South Australian National Football League clubs having a look on, and also Broken Hill being part of the Northern Zone for the South Australian Country Championships, so some of those selectors will be there as well.
The Miners' Cup will be played on the 1st of June. Patrick Ryanke, 7 Spencer Golf News.
Up next, we catch up with our footy experts who preview the weekend's matches, and Louise will have the weekend weather forecast. You're watching 7 Spencer Golf News. It's now that time of week where we head around the grounds for a preview of our region's footy leagues. Here's our experts with their tips for the weekend's matches.
Hello and welcome to round 4 of SGL football. This round sees the Lions travelling to Port Augusta to take on South at Central Oval. The Lions have started the season in brilliant form and will be looking forward to this challenge. South won't be easy beats and I'm expecting a fierce contest. I'm tipping the Lions. The other match in Port Augusta sees Central hosting Port at Etsett Oval. Port are yet to open their account this season and will be finding it hard going against Central. I'm tipping Central. In Pirrie, it's Solly's up against West at Memorial Oval. West have been the big improvers this season with 2 wins from their 3 matches. Solly's have had an indifferent start to the year and need more scoring options if they are to challenge this season. I'm tipping West.
Teams start to play each other for the second time here in Whyalla football. Tonight at Bennett Oval it'll be West Whyalla and Marina Bay. Bays are back in the top 4, but they take on the undefeated top of the ladder West Whyalla, and West should win. Saturday it's Central Whyalla versus Rapina. Roos failed to kick a goal last week and I think they're going to struggle against a very good Centrals team who should win this one comfortably. And finally on Sunday it's South Whyalla versus North Whyalla. Sadly South stuck on the bottom of the ladder, no wins. I can't see them getting across the line against a very talented Magpie outfit.
Welcome to round 4 of Port Lincoln Footy Tips. We kick things off at Centenary Oval where WAYBACKS are hosting Lincoln South. WAYBACKS are coming to this game with a bit of form, winning their last couple of games, so I'm tipping them to win this one and win this one by about 6 goals. In the next game, we got Boston's hosting Marlborough Range at Paul Oval. Boston's are looking for their first win of the season and Marlborough Range are going to need a bounce back after last week's performance. I'm tipping Marlborough Range to win this one and win this one comfortably. In the final game and match of the round, we got Tasman's hosting MALLEE Park at Ravendale Oval. MALLEE Park are coming into this game with a bit of form, however Tasmans are still undefeated. I think Tasmans are going to be too strong and win this one by at least 5 goals.
Round 4 of Broken Hill football this weekend and traditional rivals North and South will go head-to-head at Jubilee Oval. The South team are flying. 32 games in a row they've won. North won't beat them. They won't get within 10 goals. The Roos will go on their winning way. West leave Jubilee Oval for the first time in 2019. They'll travel to Memorial Oval to take on Central. The Battle of the Birds, the Robins and the Magpies. West will win. They'll win easy. They're on a roll, the Robins. They're heading to a grand final.
It's now time to take a look at the weather. Here's Louise with the weekend weather forecast.
Good evening. It was another sunny autumn day today, but there's some wet weather on the way. Temperatures were in the low to mid-20s right across our region. Port Augusta reached 25 degrees, Whyalla 23. Port Lincoln and Broken Hill also sunny and 23. Port Pirie topped that, topping 24 degrees, and Adelaide was sunny and 22. Checking out the satellite now, and cloud is increasing over the western parts, bringing showers and possible storms this weekend. North to nor'east winds tomorrow reaching 20 knots, seas rising to a metre. The sun will rise at 7:05 with sunset at 5:25. Mostly cloudy tomorrow with rain on the Eyre Peninsula. Port Augusta cloudy and 27 degrees. Woodner will be wet and 21. Whyalla showers and 20. Rain in Port Lincoln and 21 degrees. Broken Hill and Port Pirie cloudy and 25. Clare partly cloudy and 22. Cleve with some showers and 23 degrees. Adelaide some patchy cloud and 23. Looking ahead to the next 4 days now, rain for Port Lincoln over the weekend before clearing up by Tuesday. Cleve can expect showers over the weekend too, 23 on Saturday and 21 Sunday. A bit of rain also expected in Woodner and 21 Saturday and Sunday before a return to dry conditions on Monday. A showery weekend in Whyalla before reaching 24 on Tuesday. Port Augusta will be dry and warm tomorrow before showers on Sunday reaching 26 degrees. And Kadina, some rain over the next 2 days before clearing up for the start of the working week. Port Pirie will be dry tomorrow before rain and 24 degrees on Sunday. Showers and 21 Monday before clearing on Tuesday. Clare will be partly cloudy over the weekend before showers on Monday with a top of 18 degrees. Broken Hill will be dry over the next 4 days. 25 tomorrow, 24 Sunday, 26 Monday and Tuesday. And that's all for tonight's weather. Have a lovely weekend and try to keep dry. But for now, John, it's back to you.
Thanks, Louise. And that's the local news this Friday evening. Just a reminder, you can keep up to date with us on our Facebook, Twitter and YouTube pages. Just search for Spencer Golf Nightly News. I'm John Hunt. Thanks for your company this week. I'll have updates later during the footy. But until then, have a great weekend. Good night.